Well, Terry and I were introduced, and it was a blind date, actually. And he had just gotten out of the Navy, the U.S. Navy at the time, and neither one of us were interested in getting a relationship with anyone. And so we dated briefly for a short period of time, and then that was in May, and then in August we decided we should get married because Terry was going to be going to school. We lived in Indianapolis for a while he went to Purdue, and then he was employed by Westinghouse on the Deep Star project, which was a submersible that did research at 4,000 feet, and they moved us to San Diego, California. Terry was very much of a man's man kind of gentleman, and yet he had more integrity than anyone I've ever met, from the very moment that I met him all the way till he took his last breath. And he liked to do all kinds of things. Terry enjoyed all different types of hunting and fishing. He always liked to do things that were water related as well, like a lot of diving. It was in 2004, Ian and Danielle Mackey, who live very close to us here in Lions Bay, were having an alpha course. And Chris and Richard Bejen were going to it, and they said, why don't you come along with us? And so we started going to this alpha course. We had heard about this church that was in the Terracin building downtown, and I was driving in and something kept saying, go across the bridge. Go across the bridge, Linda. So I went across the bridge and walked into this conference room where the church service was going on, and I was amazed. There was something that was in the room that I had never felt before, and I still feel it every time I walk into the church. And that's how we started to go to Coastal. We knew there was something wrong, because when you live with someone for such a long period of time and there's something that's amiss, you know that it's amiss. And he was putting some office furniture together, and he pushed down, and there was this large pop sound. And I looked over at him, and he went, I don't know what I did, but... And he was holding his arm. So we made a sling and went into the doctor, and so Dr. Martin said, it looks like you have cancer in that bone, so that must mean that there's cancer someplace else too. And so he said, you know, because of it being the time of the year that it was, he gave him some major drugs and said, we'll have to pick this up after New Year's. And so then we then started going through all the tests and so on, and found out that he had, in fact, had lung cancer that had metastasized throughout his body. The doctor had told us that Terry probably had from anywhere from 2 months to 6 months, 8 months to live. But then you could tell that he was fading very, very quickly. And so both Crystal and Stacy and family, everybody moved in, and we all were here together. And then Terry passed away on September the 5th. Terry and I had been married for 44 years. We worked together, so we were together almost constantly, you know, every day, all the time, except, you know, well, particularly for the last several years before he passed away. We'd travel together and do all kinds of things. But suddenly, when this person is gone from your life, there's a huge, huge void. I mean, just And I can't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have this God around me because I'm not alone. I'm not. I mean, I'm not alone.